Dragon,
Which
Manhunter.
Red Dragon is a remake of Manhunter because Anthony Hopkins does not play in Manhunter. Manhunter was made even before Silence of the Lambs,
Right.
and before they knew that they were going to kind of turn this into a franchise or whatever. Manhunter was kind of a standalone movie until Silence of the Lambs came along. So technically, Manhunter isn't in the series, but since I look at it as a remake of, well, it is a remake of Red Dragon, I put it in the series because it's a good film and people should know about it.
Exactly.
And the lead in the film of what was he? CSI?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a CSI dude. So, Hannibal's awesome. But we all know, regardless of how you feel about Red Dragon, Manhunter, Hannibal Rising, Silence of the Lambs, even as a standalone film, if you want to look at it, is one of the greatest horror films or psychological horror thrillers of all time.
Yeah.
It's in my top 10. It's number 6. So that tells you how much I like that movie. I'm not as big on the series or the franchise, but that movie is really the catch pajamas.
Yeah. So what's your number 8?
My number 8 is the Psycho franchise. There are 6 movies in here, which one I have never seen. Apparently, we all know about the Bates Motel series, right? TV series. Well, apparently in 1987, they made a television movie called The Bates Motel, which I've never seen, which is fucking odd. I've never even heard of it. I thought it was just a TV series.
No shit.
So I'm definitely, when we get done with all this, I'm definitely going to try to go up there if I can't find
Probably
it on the street.
Tubi.
Yeah, maybe a Tubi or maybe a
Freebie.
maybe a YouTube freebie.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
there's 6 movies in this, counting the one that I haven't seen and counting the remake. That the remake is the only one I don't care for. That has Vince Vaughn in it, and it's just a shot by shot with less talented actors, so it's boring. But the first Psycho, again, in my top 10 favorite horror movies of all time, it's right after Silence of the Lambs. It's number 7 on my favorite horror movie of all time, with Alfred Hitchcock, Janet Leigh. Fantastic movie. Psycho 2 is one of the most underrated sequels of all time. Not just in horror, but in all time. That movie is fantastic. In a lot of ways, a lot of people say, well, I like that better than Psycho. Psycho's a little slow to get started, blah, blah, blah. This one's a little more, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if I'd go that far, but I will say that Psycho 2 is in that Fright Night 2 category. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it, and that's what makes it underrated. Psycho 3 continues that. Not as good, but it's still enjoyable. And Psycho 4, I don't know if you remember that, but that's he calls the radio DJ, and he basically tells the DJ his life story, about what happens in his kind of flashbacks or whatever.
It's been forever since I can kind of see it as you're talking about it.
It's a female DJ, and he calls. Yeah. He calls, and he's like, let me tell you this. And she just is infatuated. And anyway, those are 4 movies with Anthony Perkins. He's the only Norman Bates in my eyes. I can appreciate the TV show and have fun with it.
Yeah.
The remake, I already gave you my feelings on that.
Yeah,
but
I think it's universally hated.
Yeah, he's the Robert Englund of that role. And the way that he portrays it, going from the innocent kind of baby face to the old guy, I've been in the hospital, but I'm good now type of deal.
Right.
And it's kind of like a drug type of deal. He falls right back into it. I really enjoy the Psycho films.
That's pretty cool. I guess I didn't really think about Psycho 4. I thought about the first 3. But yeah, no, they're pretty solid movies. I like them. I got to go back and rewatch 4 because I don't. It's like
it's
like that old friend you haven't talked to in a while. Oh yeah, you're still alive.
Yeah. Are you two still living?
Oh man,
Number 7 on the list, baby.
number 7. I'm sure it's on your list. It would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'll talk a little bit more about it when I get to it.
Yeah. Okay. This was hard not to. This is a personal choice, honestly. As a franchise, it's not that great. It's very inconsistent. But the first one is so goddamn good and so iconic, you just have to put it on the list. I know people are going to be like, 2 sucks, 3 sucks, 4 is like the worst thing in the history of history. A lot of people hated the remakes. A lot of people love the remakes. A lot of people shit on the new Texas Chainsaw on Netflix. Listen, I know that the first one is regarded as one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Agreed. Part 2, when they're making it, knew that they couldn't make part 1. They were not stupid about that. But there is so much greatness with part 2. Like Bill Moseley. Bill Moseley is a great character, Chop Top. He adds a lot more to the movie, considering Leatherface isn't a talking character. And that gives you a comic relief. I mean, a dark comedy. It's not like, slapstick, kind of shit. I know the Matthew McConaughey Texas Chainsaw Massacre is regarded as shit. It's shit. Because of how they treat Leatherface in it. But I gotta say that Matthew McConaughey is enjoyable in that movie. Now, lace up your boots for this hot take. Other than the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the best one in the franchise is the remake and the beginning. Those two were fucking masterpieces. I love those two just as much as I love the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And I love the new one that is on Netflix. I thought that was a good return to basics. You had Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. I found it enjoyable to a certain extent. People hate it. It's not that great. Leatherface was all right. It wasn't that great. But I feel that the first one, the remake, the beginning, and the new one is 4 solid movies. And that is our rules. Like, at least 4 movies. So in that list, I was like, all right, I have to justify at least 4 movies. And those are my 4 justifications. If you don't like that, I'm sorry, but it is what it is.
Cool. When I get to it on my list, I'll add, But my number 7 is the Scream franchise. And there's 6 of these bad boys.
Boo.
The 6
it's on
just
my
came
list.
out earlier this year. We're getting a 7th one, obviously. They're working out the kinks. They're We still got to see if Neve Campbell is going to come back and whatever. But
You know what
we'll
I want?
see. What do you want? A corn dog?
I want a corn dog.
I kind of want a corn dog. I got some corn dog nuggets.
Yeah. Zach was eating them, and they look pretty fucking good. I want, in Scream 7, if this is the last one, so to speak, I don't want her going to Leatherface, to her going to Ghostface. I want Ghostface coming to her and hunting her, like in Scream 1.
Yeah, that would be cool. You know, that would be pretty awesome. But let's go a little bit. Let's talk about how the first Scream brought the teen slasher genre back to life in the mid to late 90s. And then Scream 2 kind of continued that. Then Scream 3, which got shed on, which I think is a lot of fun and is actually my third favorite in the franchise. Next to the fourth film, it goes first one, 4, 3, probably 5, then 2, then 6. That's probably how I'd rank them. I know that a lot of people got boners from Part 6 earlier this year, and we've talked about it before. We just saw too many holes in it, so we didn't give it a favorable review. Upon rewatch and just letting it be what it is, it's a lot more funner, I will admit. And I can honestly say that there's no movie in this franchise where I go, that's shit. That is total shit. Every movie you can point to and say, okay, the plot's pretty decent. Every movie you can point to and you could say, oh man, what about that death scene? Maybe that one was a little goofy, but that one right there is awesome. You can do that with every one of these movies. And every single one of these movies has pretty awesome big name actors, or to us, big name actors anyway. Especially the third one. There's so many cameos in that movie. Jay and Silent Bob is a cameo in there. When Gale Weathers is coming out of the Backlot Studios, they go, holy shit, it's that weather girl, Connie Chung. And he goes, hey Connie, how's Murray? And she just looks at him and gives him the finger and keeps walking. That's fucking hilarious. You could do little shit like that. But yeah, I mean, Ghostface is iconic. If you put Michael, Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface as the original slasher Mount Rushmore on that second Mount Rushmore, I think that Ghostface comes in either maybe first or second as being iconic. Maybe second because you got to throw Chucky on there. But after that, I think the next iconic one is Ghostface, and he's earned his spot. And another thing about these movies is it's not the same person in every single movie. So not only do you get a slasher film, you get a whodunit film, which is very, very reminiscent of a Giallo film, which is a murder mystery, which is basically all Screams are. They're murder mystery movies.
Yeah, I called it Scooby-Doo for adults.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo for adults. So coming in at number 7, I have Scream. And before you go to your number 6, my number 6 is Texas. And just let me go ahead and get that out of the way. Just add on to you before I forget what you said.
Okay, that's fine.
I agree with you that the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is so iconic. Everyone after that kind of fails. And I would say that as a movie, the remake and the beginning are the better ones. However, I feel like part 2, it's something about that film that I really like. And I would add that to...
oh, yeah. Texas Chainsaw Massacre on our scale is a 5. It's a 5 out of 5.
Right.
Right. I would give part 2 a 4.